Well, guys, we finally did it. We made it through another year of music and stupid drama about music. Oh, and I guess some other stuff happened this year. Whatever.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. Wow.
I know it's sort of cliche to talk about how insane 2020 was, even when talking about the music from that year, but I feel like how the charts behaved this year actually encapsulates that very well. In 2020, everything felt like an absolute jumble, with songs debuting at number one and then absolutely vanishing immediately after, or songs that didn't even make the top 10 just staying around for so long that they end up really high on the year end. In 2021, although we still had a few of those cases, things felt way more organized. Like, I could point to many hit songs from this year and go, oh yeah, that song was big in the spring, or this song was big in the fall. But with this organization, a lot of the hits feel a lot safer this year. Like, look at this The Weeknd and Post Malone song. I like both of these artists, but I immediately got tired of the song because it's the exact same semi-retro heavy bass synth pop that I've heard the entire year. This was also a really good year for minor hits. There were so many songs this year that I was really hoping would skyrocket so they could make the year end, but they unfortunately missed the cut. However, I will also say that I personally enjoyed the songs that made this year-end list a lot more than my last one. With this list, I'm very confident that every song on here deserved their spot in the exact order that they got. So, without further ado, here is... When we talk about TikTok hits, people are under the assumption that only a certain type of song goes viral on TikTok. Either a really sad and emo song that back in my day would be considered in the I'm 14 and this is deep category, or a super lighthearted fun song that's easy to make a dance to. However, I don't really find this to be entirely the case. You see, because TikTok has so many different communities, basically any song from any genre or any artist, no matter what their mainstream presence is, can become popular there. I've seen songs from artists that were virtually resided to a cult-like fan base suddenly blow up to the mainstream through one of their songs blowing up on TikTok several times at this point. But that also means that more serious songs about grief or trauma that are typically left for deep cuts can also become super successful on the platform. Case in point...
I keep my gun in my drawers, ducking the sad news. My phone say 7 missed calls, I know it's bad news.
I'm not the most familiar with Rod Wave as an artist. From what I have listened to, I noticed that he has a good ear for a beat that can show both a heavy-hearted message and a catchy playfulness to where even people who don't pay attention to the core lyrics can enjoy the sound. The best way I can describe him is a trap artist with undertones of gospel and soul. But with this song, the typical catchy beat is replaced with a more serious, organic instrumental that puts more focus on Rod Wave himself. Here, he talks about how his family wants him to spend more time with them and stop working so hard, in which he responds that he has to keep working to put food on the table and he'll find peace and relaxation when he's buried. That might seem like a very sad and bleak resolution, but in a way, that's kind of reality. We spend so much time working because we have this I'll rest when I'm dead mentality. But when we're faced with the actual idea of dying, we're worried that we spent too much time working. Now, I will say here that the shortness of the song actually is a disadvantage. I think adding an extra verse would add a lot more pathos to the story he's trying to sell. But overall, this is great. I'm really glad TikTok connected with the song so much and it found its audience there. It really deserved it. I will admit, I have a bit of a weird history with Latin music. My mom is Mexican, and she's always been my primary caretaker, so a lot of what I listened to as a kid was directly influenced by her. And I have a lot of weird memories of me hanging out with my mom's friends at parties, and then there's this really loud Latin dance club music while I'm staring at the floor wanting to go home. So for a while, I used to just absolutely refusing to listen to Latin music because it used to give me flashbacks of my awkward flinchy phase. But lately, I've been trying to give it more of a chance, and there's a lot of great Latin music, especially right now, that I wish we had given the time of day earlier. Especially from her. says is a God sent to earth to bless us. I guess she's technically most known for her collaborations with Tyler the Creator, but she also has a respectable music career in her own right. Her album Sin Mi Adora has a lot of great songs such as Fue Mejor, La Luz, and this song. My biggest problem with some of the mainstream Latin music that I heard growing up is that I feel like it was sort of trying to mimic the club boom of the early 2010s, but the absolute worst parts of it. Like seriously, what the hell is this? Honestly, I don't even know if we should blame the artist though. They probably just saw the club boom and went, oh, that's what Americans like, so I should make music that sounds like that if I want to gain an American audience. That's what I appreciate so much about artists like Kali or Bad Bunny. They're not trying to change their sound or authenticity because they're scared of losing an English-speaking audience. They just make really damn good music, and so English-only speaking people are able to vibe with it. My absolute favorite thing about this song is the instrumental. It feels really dreamy-like while also having some pretty synths throughout. Kelly also has a pretty voice and knows exactly how to show emotion of missing a partner and wanting to telepathically be with them. I also love the vocal layering. The moments where it goes from one to multiple layers of the vocal arrangement are a nice touch. It's just a really great love song. It's passionate and hopeful. Right, the video. On the flip side, getting your heart broken can also result in amazing music, such as
The day that I met you, the day I thought forever, said that you love me, but that'll last forever. It's cold outside, like when you walked out my life. Why you walk out my life?
We need to do a Harvard study on the R&B men who broke into the mainstream from successful Drake songs. I'm not gonna sit here and say that Drake is responsible for Abel's music career, but after Crew Love, Wicked Game started to chart and it cemented The Weeknd as one of the most loved R&B artists of our time. Then we got Party Next Door, who manages to chart every couple of years from having bigger artists featured on his songs, but he's a prime example of what people call the OVO curse. Basically, if you're an upcoming artist and you're signed to Drake's OVO label, you are basically cursed to have some minor hits off his name alone, but not much else. And here we have Giveon, who's featured on Drake's song Chicago Freestyle and afterwards blew up with Heartbreak Anniversary from his EP When It's All Said and Done. While the overall theme of things reminding you of a heartbreak is not a new concept by any means, I like the idea of remembering how a year ago you were in this happy, committed relationship and now, it's a year later, and you're heartbroken that it's over. Giveon is able to execute this song perfectly. It's melodramatic, but it's also reasonable that he's upset. I also love the metaphors he uses. The more classy production helps too. The softness of the beat and especially the intro are nice touches. Reflecting on now, Giveon's latest singles don't seem to be going anywhere, which is a shame because he has a lot of talent. I do think he'll have a lot of success as a featured artist, because from the songs I've heard that he's featured on, he's able to fit the vibe of the song really well. He's really adaptable. But for now, I think this is the Giveon song I go back to the most.
Need a couple number ones, need a plaque on every song. Make me like one we're naked now. Tell her I'm king, I don't see ya. I'm a pop star like Bieber. I don't like never some queer. But these strong movies like me, yeah.
Okay, so now we're gonna get to some songs I already talked about in my mid-year review. So if you want to hear more about my thoughts on the next 3 songs, you can check out that video. But for now, so in my mid-year review, I kind of use this song as a way to pivot to me ranting about people who try to diminish an artist's talent for the sole reason that you think they're slightly more successful than they deserve to be. Mainly because a lot of people on Twitter were trying to be edgy and say that someone like SZA is actually bad and overrated. Honestly, I think the main reason I went on that tangent is because I couldn't really put into words how much I like this song. But I guess I can try now. I love the colorfulness of the instrumental, I love the hopefulness of the lyrics about how awful she feels, but she still believes good things will come. I love her voice and how she's able to portray emotions. In a world full of torment, SZA was able to craft a song about channeling the negative into hope. I think a lot of people hate songs directly about the pandemics because it's very obvious that the rich people capitalizing off these songs are not experiencing the grief that the average person was going through when it all started. But when looking at good days, everyone can relate to struggles with anxiety and hoping for better things to happen, especially now. It doesn't feel cheesy or alien, it feels sincere. A lot of people try to come up with petty reasons online to not like SZA, but no, I do not care if she lied about never having a birthday cake, okay?
Oh, let's do it. I am fall off, I just ain't real, it's my new head. I don't get why everybody trying to sue me. You call me Nas, but the hood call me groovy.
You didn't show up today with HIV, AIDS, any of them deadly sexually transmitted diseases that'll make you die in 2-3 weeks. Put a cell phone like that up.
So, a few months ago, DaBaby went on a really weird rant about gay people having sex in a parking lot at a Rolling Loud concert, and then proceeded to say that people with AIDS will die in 3 weeks. So, his really weird and outdated homophobia began to become a funny meme. But to be honest, I was actually really surprised when I heard about this. I mean, I never knew the guy personally, but he seemed chill and cool with gay people, so what pushed him to hate the gays? Was it when JoJo Siwa came out as a member of the LGBT community by singing Born This Way by Lady Gaga? Or was it when his favorite restaurant was exposed for being homophobic? Well, for me, I like to think that the thing that absolutely pushed him over the edge was this. I feel like everyone was so blown away by how revolutionary the song was because of the video that they forgot that the song itself is also important in its own way. A lot of people experience being put in these difficult relationships where one of you is ready to give your all for them no matter what people will say, but the other one isn't ready for that and would rather keep the relationship in the dark. It's about sex, yeah, but it's also about the longing for love so messy and overpowering. I actually read Lil Nas X's GQ article, which you probably saw from me talking about how this headline absolutely butchered the message of it. And reading it, I kind of absolutely hate the way people make any time he talks about anything this sinful sexual thing. He talks about feeling really alone as a gay kid in a conservative environment and how he had a lot of anxiety about being alone forever. And honestly, I'm worried about that sometimes too. And it's great that we have a song, a #1 song for that matter, that is able to just freely say, I want to be with this guy in the way straight artists have been able to forever. It's really goddamn exciting. I've seen some people complain that the song is too short and it feels unfinished, but I actually disagree. The shortness feels natural. He's not trying to build a story with a coherent beginning, middle, and end. He's describing his frustrations and lust in a funny way. But the sad and ultimately relatable part of this entire song is this relationship is not gonna last.
I wanna sell what you're buying. I wanna feel on your ass in Hawaii. I want that jet lag for fucking and flying. Shoot a shot in your mouth while I'm riding.
He wants someone evil, but eventually he's going to get evil consequences, and that's what draws him to him. I have a theory about how this relates to the album Montero, and how this is the opening track because it signifies the toxic relationship he once was in, and throughout the rest of the album he tries to find himself so he can be in a real committed relationship while also learning to accept himself. Lil Nas X has a grip on the world right now that I feel like will be remembered for a long time. He's here to stay, and no matter what bitter 2000s kids who hate modern music say, he deserves it. Put some goddamn respect on his name.
That my best friend, she a real bad bitch, got her own money.
I really hate the idea that if something is trying to be an anthem of some sort that it's automatically bad or cringe. Like, a lot of people hate songs about female empowerment because people view them as trying too hard to be #girlboss. Or, if the song is about getting a girl even if you don't have the best morals, people view it as a fuckboy anthem that's trying too hard to be cool. And in my opinion, sure, I guess you could call those songs that, but that doesn't inherently mean they can't also be good. A lot of people in the music commentary community have this mentality that if a song is more fun and lighthearted, it's automatically inferior to any song that's more serious. And honestly, that's a really sad way to view music. Songs that are meant to be played at parties still have artistic value. For example, my absolute favorite thing about this song is Doja's verse where she captivates the audience by highlighting certain phrases through her tone. I also appreciate how Saweetie and Doja both have about equal rapping time. It feels more of a collaboration rather than Doja just being a feature artist. Obviously, this song has a special place in my heart because me and my best friend really started becoming close when the song was blowing up, but it's still an awesome song that deserved its placement here in its own respect.
Can she throw it out and come back in?
I told you long ago on the road, I got what they waiting for. Don't run from nothing, dog. Get your friends, tell them I ain't laying low. You was never really rooting for me anyway. When I'm back up at the top, I wanna hear you say, you run from nothing, dog. Get your friends, tell them that the break is over.
Remember this era? Of course you do, everyone loves it. So much so that people are really annoying about it. Ever since I've been on social media, I've seen people bitching about how we need a pop punk revival. So much so that we started letting some of the artists from that era make garbage music just because we have fond memories of them. But now that we're having a bit of a pop punk revival, people are complaining that's too similar to the pop punk of the early to mid 2000s. But one, that's literally what you wanted, and two, I highly disagree with that. A lot of modern pop punk uses a lot of modern touches such as trap beats, or a rap verse that doesn't halt the production of the sound and continues with the rock elements. Hell, the second biggest song of the 2010s decade so far is literally a pop rap song with an electric guitar hook. Now, this isn't to say I don't have problems with these new pop punk songs. I feel like some of them try too hard to water down elements of both punk and rap genres, instead of just letting the best elements of both genres coexist. But the main thing that bothers me with these complaints is they're not genuine. They just want an excuse to gatekeep their favorite genres from newer artists that they view as clout chasers. Like, no one was making their problems I have with modern pop punk videos when Machine Gun Kelly made a whole pop punk album. These complaints specifically started to come up when this song came out. A lot of people with popular accounts in the scene community were complaining about this song blowing up because they viewed it as Olivia Rodrigo saying, "I'm an alternative artist now, and you must refer to me as such from now on." Which, no, she did not fucking say that at all. A stupid news headline being out of touch is not an excuse to make up scenarios to get mad at her for. In fact, I'm actually really glad this song was made, so maybe y'all can shut up now and stop acting like you're oppressed because you listen to pop punk. Anyways, yeah, I love this song. Obviously, this song has been compared to Misery Business by Paramore a lot, but I think the main reason why I actually like the song a lot better than Misery Business is because the anger is more directed at the guy who messed up rather than the girl for having the audacity to date him. I feel like there's more you can do with the concept of, this guy broke my heart and is now acting like nothing ever happened, than, this girl is dating a guy I like. My favorite lines in the song include, "I guess the therapist I found for you, she really helped," as it emphasizes how much it hurts that he's just forgetting she existed after all she's done for him. "Maybe I'm too emotional, but your apathy is like a wounded salt," as it admits she's not in the right headspace and she's just pouring out her soul. And the ultimate kicker, "Maybe I'm too emotional, or maybe you never cared at all." It shows her biggest fear, that the old relationship they had never mattered to the guy, even though it meant everything to her. She's not complaining that the guy has moved on and is in a new relationship. She's paranoid that their relationship never mattered. And obviously, another thing I love about this song is that it sounds badass. I love how it starts off kind of minimalistic and spare, and then by the time we get to the first chorus, it just absolutely explodes. I love the instrumental break between the verses and between the second verse and the bridge, and I also love the way they repeat the first half of the chorus through a sort of filtered speaker before exploding with the second half. I just really love this song, and I wish you would all stop being losers and acting like Olivia Rodrigo killed her grandma over it.
For you, I guess you moved on really easily.
My track record so clean, they couldn't wait just to greet me. I must be getting too flashy, y'all shouldn't let the world rush me. It's too late cause I'm here to stay and the world knows that I'm classic. I sent a letter to all my friends with a stamp, school to start Vader.
Okay.
We hug and yes, we make love and always
these women. Doja Cat, who just absolutely exploded this year in popularity, has always impressed me with her ability to utilize her sultry R&B styled voice with her fun and more out there rap style voice. SZA is literally God. They are both in love, and the song conveys all the loving feelings and desires they have for this person. Doja starts the verse by talking about the things they already do together, but she longs for more and feels like the guy is holding her back. Then we get to Doja's rap verse, which is, horny, yeah. This part is a lot more about her frustrations with the guy. Her friends think he's not worth it, and she says having sex with him literally feels like jail. But then she also admits that her frustrations come from feeling like they could be doing more with each other, like Doja's part. When they harmonize together on the final chorus, I love it. And you can't talk about the song without talking about how beautiful it sounds. The guitars at the beginning set a nice atmosphere. I like the way the beat sort of ticks before the chorus. It might not be the most important song to me on this list, but it's definitely my favorite love song of the year.
Say they talking, we taking notes. Tell him all to get making posts. Wish he could, but he can't get close. OG is so proud of me that he rocking out, please making toast. I'm the type that you can't control. Said I would, then I made it so.
So, in my best hit songs of 2020 video, I went on a rant about how Stan Twitter was praising The Box and supporting Roddy Ricch as an artist because they wanted The Box to block Yummy and Life is Good at number 1. But then, when it started blocking Don't Start Now at number 1, stans were like, okay, we're so tired of it, it's overrated. I find it really weird the way Stan Twitter will start praising a new artist and say, they deserve all the success, but then, when they actually reach that success and became even more successful than their favorite artist, then suddenly they're overrated and they don't deserve anything. This happens every single time a new artist shows up. Like literally, it's like clockwork. And it makes me think that the pop heads who were hyping these new artists up weren't really ever supporting them in the first place. They were just using them as a defense when people accused them of hating modern music. I guess you could say they were never really rooting for them anyway.
Baby bet, ayy, couple racks, ayy, couple Grammys on him, couple blacks, ayy.
A lot of the ways straight allies try to defend Lil Nas X are really weird to me. Like, when defending the shower scene in this video, they'll say stuff like, oh, people are mad at you because you made 2 songs about being gay, but no one gets mad when straight artists make all their songs about being straight. And like, in theory, yeah, you're right, but Industry Baby is not about being gay.
You was never really rooting for me anyway. When I'm back up at the top, I wanna hear you say.
This song is clearly about people saying he was a one-hit wonder and that he was never going to be truly successful, but he was, even after they freaking outed him. I know the whole trope of flexing on the haters tends to be overdone a lot, but in Lil Nas X's case, he definitely deserves his chance. He started his career off with Swifties, Beliebers, Barbs, and Lambs getting mad at him. It got so bad that people literally made up fake tweets of his so they could excuse leaking his underage nudes and outing him. Now they pretend to care about misogyny and the shit female artists have to go through when he pretended to be pregnant, which is really funny to me because they're the same grown men who weaponize misogyny towards any woman they don't like. People were literally crying tears of joy when TikTok announced they were doing a Call Me By Your Name inspired NFT because now they finally have an excuse to hate him, only for it to be revealed that he had no involvement in it, and it was cancelled immediately. People, even some of the most progressive individuals, have been looking high and low to find reasons to drag him and to say he's only successful because he's gay. Well, it ain't gonna work, Halfwit, he's here to stay.
My track record's so clean, they couldn't wait to just bash me.
I also like Jack Harlow's addition to the song. Even if he hasn't gotten the same type of backlash as Lil Nas X, he also does get some flack for being, quirky? I guess that is how you could say it. And he actually has my favorite line in the song.
All these social networks and computers got these pussies walking around like they ain't losers.
According to the Genius interview about the song, this part was a response to people on Twitter and Instagram commenting stuff like L, ratio, young boy better.
Am I seeing online? Ratio. LL, young boy better.
And of course I can't mention this song without mentioning Take a Day Trip. Take a Day Trip also produced Call Me By Your Name, but the focus on that song is more on Lil Nas X himself and the story he's telling. With Industry Baby, this song is more of a victory, so the production requires a lot more bombast. When I first started hearing snippets of the song on TikTok, I was worried that the horns at the start wouldn't fit the song and it would be super cheesy. But the horns actually work very well, especially when they intertwine with the beat. I also love when the melodies mix together in Jack Harlow's verse.
I didn't peak in high school, I'm still out here getting cuter.
But the two things that absolutely sealed the deal for me and almost made this song my number one was this part. Seriously, that is so satisfying. And the outro. Literally perfect. And now it's time for the honorable mentions.
I don't clear up rumors, where's your sense of humor? I'm done making jokes that they got on like baby boomers. Turn my haters to consumers, I make vets feel like they're juniors. Say your time is coming soon, but just like Oklahoma, mine is coming sooner. I'm just a late bloomer, I didn't peak in high school, I'm still out here getting cuter. All these social networks and computers got these moonies walking around, I love their movement.
I'ma leave the door open.
First, we're starting with songs I already talked about in my mid-year review. I still really like this song, but I also get why for some people, hearing it one too many times can sort of ruin the magic since, well, it's Bruno Mars. He could make a song with a wood chipper for a beat, and it would still go number one on pop radio. Also, Smoking Out the Window is amazing.
I swear to God, I never fall in love.
So, in the few months since I defended this song, Machine Gun Kelly went on an anti-mask rant to drag Slipknot, and he and Megan Fox absolutely embarrassed themselves. Yeah, I guess I deserve that.
Got you, moonlight, you're my starlight, I need you.
The baby hates the gays. The baby hates the gays. The baby hates the gays. I still find this song super seductive and hot, but this one was really close to making the list. I still love it, and it hasn't shrunk on me per se, but this was just a really strong year for songs, I guess.
I ain't joking, do it sound like I'm kidding. I've been making like 2,000 a minute.
And now for the honorable mentions I haven't talked about yet. A really good song throughout about how Polo G is just absolutely done with everything, but no really distinct moments that could push it above, just really good. Bieber has a remix of this song. Honestly, he doesn't really add or subtract that much from the song, so I still think the song is really pleasant. I like the beat in both WizKid and Tem's part. Another really pleasant song that doesn't really have any distinct moments that put it past really good, but it's still loose and fun enough to be worth an honorable mention. I love you.
Take my breath and make it last forever.
I think eventually, one day, I'm going to get tired of Abel, but that day is not today. The synths on the chorus are amazing. Also, this song is about wanting to be choked. I approve.
Hands on my knees, shaking ass on my thigh shit. Post me a pic, finna make me a profit.
This is her best year-end hit ever, period. She has so many banger lines. I actually like the repetitiveness of the chorus because it provides a nice transition from one verse to the other. Also, I love how she changes the way she says the producer tag depending on the melody of the beat.
And if the beat live, you know Lil Juke made it. And if the beat live, you know Lil Juke.
You need an instant ease from your life where you got plenty of every hurt and heartbreak.
This song didn't make the year-end. In fact, it only charted for 2 weeks because, well, it's a more serious song, and he didn't hyper-promote it like he did with his other songs, but it holds a really special place in my heart. I've been following Lil Nas X ever since he blew up with Old Town Road, and seeing him grow into this artist that's comfortable sharing his biggest anxieties and fears makes me really proud of him. Also, I can't believe I've gone through this whole video without mentioning that he retweeted me. And now, number 1.
Told you long ago on the road, I got what they waiting for. Don't run from nothing, dog. Get your friends, tell them I ain't laying low. You was never really rooting for me anyway. When I'm back up at the top, I wanna hear you say, you don't run from nothing, dog. Get your friends, tell them that the break is over.
So, I'm going to tell you a story. A few years ago, I moved schools because I was in this really toxic situation with my drama teacher. Basically, he relied on me to do a lot of work whenever school plays rolled around, like making sure other kids showed up to meetings and knew their lines, trying to resolve any drama that happened. It was so emotionally overwhelming for me that it made me develop a hatred for acting. I've grown past it now, and I've seen it as a learning experience. To not let people ruin things for me, and to not devote so much energy to a person who will ultimately overlook me. It really hurts when people ruin something you love. And what sucks the most is that you're scared to blame this person because they don't even know they broke you. But you also want to scream with every fiber of your being, "You ruined me!"
When I'm away from you, I'm happier than ever.
When I heard this song for the first time when the album came out, I started crying. I don't think I've ever seen a hit song be this good at conveying anger. I know a lot of people only love the second half of the song because Phineas cranks it up to 1,000 with the rock-inspired production, but honestly, the thing that stood out to me the most were the lyrics. I could just play the song in its entirety and that would explain why I relate to it. Billy starts the song by explaining how she sees him now that the relationship is over. It's a lot more soft and mellow because, well, she's out of the relationship. She's focusing on her day-to-day life and how everything feels now that he's gone. Then, in the second half of the song, things slowly get more and more angry as she starts to remember what it feels like to be in the relationship. Then,
I don't relate to you. I don't relate to you, no. 'Cause I'd never treat me this shitty. You made me hate this city. And I don't talk shit about you on the internet. Never told anyone anything bad.
this is my favorite line from the first breakdown.
I could talk about every time that you showed up on time, but I have an empty line 'cause you never did.
But my actual favorite part of the song is the build-up before the second breakdown.
You ruined everything good. Always said you were misunderstood. Made all my moments your own. Just fucking leave me alone.
I hate when people say they're misunderstood. No, you're not, you're just an asshole. This song is literally a perfect way to express anger, sadness, just an absolute F you to someone screwing you over. And I'm going to be returning to this song a lot. It really means a lot to me. And that's the list! Wow, this one feels a lot more complete than the last one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter and to subscribe to see more music commentary videos. And also, don't forget to subscribe to my best friend Luke79 in his first video ever. I'm Kenzie, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!